Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. I'm here to share insights that can transform how you connect with others. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating topic that could change how people see you. We're exploring why saying less often makes you more desirable, and how the balance between mystery and transparency can be your secret weapon in attraction. Why do some people instantly capture attention without even trying, while others overshare and lose their appeal? The secret often lies in the balance between mystery and transparency. In this video, we'll explore why saying less often makes you more desirable, and how you can master this subtle but powerful skill. Chapter 1. The Psychology of Curiosity. At its core, the human brain is a relentless pattern-matching and problem-solving machine. It craves order, understanding, and above all, closure. This fundamental drive is explained by a powerful psychological principle known as the information gap theory. First proposed by behavioral economist George Lowenstein, the theory states that curiosity arises when we perceive a gap between what we know and what we to know. This gap isn't just a passive void, it creates a tangible feeling of deprivation, an intellectual itch that we are compelled to scratch. It's a form of mental tension that our brains are hardwired to resolve. Neurologically, this process is incredibly potent. When we finally bridge that information gap, when we solve the puzzle, learn the secret, or find the answer, our brain's reward system floods with dopamine. This is the same neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, motivation, and addiction. This chemical reward reinforces the seeking behavior, turning curiosity from a simple interest into a powerful, motivating force. We are biologically programmed to hunt for missing information because our brains reward us for it. Understanding this is the first step to harnessing its power. So what happens when this fundamental process is short-circuited? A person who reveals everything about themselves immediately does exactly that. They effectively close every potential information gap before it even has a chance to create that compelling tension. There's no puzzle left to solve, no intellectual itch to scratch, and therefore no dopamine reward for engaging further. You become an open book, but one where the last page is handed to the reader first. The entire narrative journey is spoiled. This isn't about being dishonest. It's about understanding the art of pacing. Think of yourself not as a static biography, but as a compelling story that unfolds, chapter by chapter. The perfect real-world example of this is a movie trailer. The most effective trailers are masters of creating and managing information gaps. They present a captivating premise, introduce characters we want to know more about, and hint at a dramatic conflict, but they deliberately withhold the resolution. They'll show you the first half of a spectacular action sequence, but cut away before the climax. They'll pose a tantalizing question, what is the secret? But never provide the answer. These carefully constructed gaps create a powerful sense of anticipation. You leave the trailer with a mind full of open loops, a cognitive tension that can only be resolved by buying a ticket. Conversely, a poorly made trailer that reveals every major plot point, including the ending, leaves you feeling satisfied but not intrigued. The mystery is gone, and so is your motivation to see the film. This exact principle is the secret ingredient in captivating social dynamics. The goal is not to be a secretive, closed-off vault. That just signals distrust. The goal is to be a treasure chest. You are authentic and present, but you don't spill all the contents onto the floor at once. You reveal your depths gradually, allowing the other person the pleasure of discovery. This means cultivating a life rich with your own passions, thoughts, and experiences. When you talk about your hobbies, you share your excitement, but perhaps not every single technical detail. You leave them with a hook, a reason to ask a follow-up question next time. This selective sharing signals that you are a person of substance, with a vibrant inner world. It transforms the process of getting to know you from a simple checklist into an exciting journey, making them an active participant in discovering who you are, piece by fascinating piece. Chapter 2. The Allure of Selective Silence. Saying less signals confidence. It shows you don't need to explain yourself to be understood. Example: imagine two men at a party. One keeps telling endless stories about his life, while the other only shares small, intriguing details. Which one seems more magnetic? Usually the quiet, selective sharer. Selective silence forces others to invest energy in chasing your story. We're always told that honesty is the best policy, right? that the foundation of any strong relationship is complete and total transparency. But what if I told you that this well-intentioned advice could be sabotaging your love life before it even begins? Welcome to Chapter 3. Transparency and its pitfalls. Transparency is often seen as the bedrock of honesty, and let's be clear, openness and authenticity are crucial for building intimacy. But there's a vast difference between being authentic and practicing unfiltered disclosure. Authenticity is about being true to your values and feelings in the moment. Unfiltered disclosure or radical transparency is an information dump. It's turning on the faucet, full blast. When you do this too early, especially in dating, you don't create connection, you create pressure. This can trigger what psychologists call emotional flooding in the other person, overwhelming their capacity to process the information and making them feel responsible for your emotional state. It's a premature sense of obligation they never signed up for. Think about it from their perspective. When you overshare details of past trauma, deep-seated insecurities, or current financial struggles on a first or second date, you're not inviting them to get to know you. You're auditioning them for the role of therapist. It forces them into a position of caretaking rather than romantic discovery. This sends a few unintended signals that you may lack personal boundaries, that you haven't yet processed your own baggage, or that you're looking for someone to fix you rather than a partner to build with. It creates an immediate imbalance in the dynamic, shifting the vibe from light and exciting to heavy and burdensome. This brings us to a powerful metaphor. Revealing your entire life story at once is like reading the last page of a book before you've even started chapter 1. The anticipation, the curiosity, the slow burn of discovery, these are the elements that create narrative tension and make a story compelling. In dating, this mystery isn't about being deceptive or playing games. It's the natural, exciting process of peeling back layers over time. This gradual revelation is neurologically rewarding. It triggers dopamine, the neurotransmitter of desire and motivation. When you lay everything out on the table at once, you short-circuit this process. The thrill of the chase is over before it began. So, how do you navigate this delicate balance? It's about mastering the art of gradual revelation. Here are a few practical strategies. First, use the trailer, not the movie rule. Give them a glimpse of your story, not the whole film. You can say, "I went through a challenging time last year, but it taught me a lot about resilience," without detailing the entire drama. Second, practice the pacing principle. Vulnerability is a dance. Match your partner's level of openness. If they share a small personal story, share one of a similar scale. It's a reciprocal exchange, not a monologue. Third, use the "is this relevant" test. Before sharing something heavy, ask yourself, does this build connection right now, or does it create a burden? Is this the right time and place? Finally, focus on the present. Instead of recounting your entire past, talk about your current passions, goals, and what excites you now. This creates a forward-looking energy. Ultimately, this isn't about hiding who you are. It's about respecting the journey of getting to know someone. Attraction thrives in the space between what is known and what is yet to be discovered. By mastering the art of gradual revelation, you don't just preserve mystery, you actively cultivate desire, intrigue, and the foundation for a connection that deepens with every new chapter you choose to reveal together. Chapter 4. Mystery as a status signal. Mystery often implies value. When someone doesn't reveal everything, it suggests their time and attention are valuable. Example, think about celebrities. The more private they are, the more people speculate about them, making them seem larger than life. Scarcity and mystery raise perceived status. People chase what they can't fully understand. Chapter 5. The balance between mystery and trust. Complete mystery can backfire. If you never open up, you seem cold or untrustworthy. The key is strategic transparency. Reveal enough to build trust, but keep back some details to maintain attraction. Example, on a first date, share a fun childhood story, but don't dive into all your deepest secrets. Let them discover you gradually. Chapter 6. Practical ways to use mystery. Keep conversations short but engaging. Leave room for curiosity. Example, instead of explaining your entire weekend, say, "I had an interesting Saturday. I'll tell you about it later." Don't always reply instantly. Space creates value, reveal stories gradually. Like chapters in a book, let them discover you piece by piece. Use body language. A smile, a pause, or eye contact can say more than words. Chapter 7. Real-life examples. A mystery example. James Bond speaks little, but every word carries weight. His silence is as powerful as his presence. Transparency example. A reality TV contestant who shares every thought and feeling instantly. They may seem authentic, but rarely remain attractive long-term. Balance is key. Use mystery to attract and selective transparency to connect. How to avoid being too mysterious. There's a delicate balance between being intriguingly mysterious and being frustratingly secretive. It's a line that many people cross without realizing it, turning a powerful tool of attraction into a barrier that pushes people away. True mystery isn't about building walls, it's about revealing your depth, layer by fascinating layer. Getting this wrong is the fastest way to be perceived not as complex, but as cold and unapproachable. Some people fundamentally mistake mystery for aloofness. They adopt behaviors like intentionally ignoring messages for days, refusing to answer even the most basic questions, or cloaking every statement in impenetrable vagueness. They believe this creates an aura of high value, but the reality is starkly different. This doesn't create attraction, it breeds frustration, confusion, and eventually, disinterest. Think of it this way. Genuine mystery is like a door left slightly ajar with warm light spilling out, inviting you to peek inside. It sparks curiosity. The false mystery of coldness, however, is a locked, unmarked steel door. There's no invitation, only a dead end. When you're evasive, you're not making someone wonder about the amazing person you are. You're making them wonder why you're being so difficult and whether you're even worth the effort. It's a shortcut that leads nowhere. Let's take a common scenario. Someone asks what you do for work. The amateur move is to say, "Oh, that's a secret," or "I'd rather not say." This is not mysterious. It's just evasive and a little pretentious. It shuts down the conversation. A much better response is, "I work in a field that always surprises people. Take a guess." Or, "I get to solve puzzles for a living." This answers the question in an engaging way, keeping the mystery alive without closing the door on connection. This applies to all areas of life. If someone asks how your weekend was, don't just say, "It was fine." Try something like, "I finally did something I've been putting off for months, and it was an absolute adventure." This naturally invites the follow-up question, "What was it?" You've created a small, intriguing story hook. So how do you cultivate this authentic mystery? First, use the breadcrumb technique. Don't reveal your entire life story on the first meeting. Instead, leave a trail of interesting, specific details that make someone want to follow. It's about selective, artful sharing, not withholding. Second, answer their question, but add one of your own. If they ask about your favorite movie, don't just name it. Say, "I love films that challenge your perception of reality." Like, "What about you? Are you more into movies that make you think, or ones that help you escape?" This transforms a simple exchange into a real conversation. Third, focus on your why, not just your what. The motivations behind your actions are infinitely more compelling than the actions themselves. Instead of saying, "I'm a graphic designer," you could say, "I've always been fascinated by how colors and shapes can tell a story without using a single word." This reveals your passion, a core part of your identity. Ultimately, the most profound mystery comes from having a rich, independent life filled with your own passions, goals, and experiences. When you are genuinely engaged with your own world, you don't need to manufacture an air of secrecy. You simply a complex, multi-layered individual worth getting to know. Remember the cardinal rule: mystery should intrigue, not frustrate. It's not a tactic for playing hard to get. It's the natural result of being someone with depth. Your goal isn't to be an unsolvable puzzle, but a captivating story that people can't wait to read the next chapter of. Chapter 9. Mystery in long-term relationships. Mystery isn't just for the dating phase. It keeps relationships alive. Long-term partners often complain about routine or predictability. Keeping a little mystery, surprises, unshared hobbies, private goals, keeps the spark alive. Example: planning a surprise weekend trip for your partner creates excitement because it adds mystery back into daily life. Chapter 10. Final takeaway. Mystery creates attraction. Transparency creates trust. The secret is not choosing one or the other, but balancing both. Remember, say less, show confidence, and let people lean in to discover you. That's what makes you truly desirable. If you want to be more desirable, don't just tell your story. Let them earn the right to hear it. Because sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Dark Love Psychology for more insights and tips to help you succeed. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.